world, and I talk gangster story. But, for those of you who have read my book, you will learn of how I overcome a lot of obstacles in my life. And people fail to realize, haven't learned, they get discouraged, they get down in the dumps. I mean, what happens to people because of their mindset? People, a lot of bad things happen, a lot of obstacles are put in people's way. And today I'm going to talk to you about how I overcame a lot of obstacles, but most importantly, I want to hear your story of how you overcome obstacles. No matter how old you are, you could be a teenager, middle age, old. We all have obstacles every single day of our life. And how we deal with them depends and shows in our attitude. One thing I try to do, and I've always done all my life, I treat everybody equally. I'm no better than anybody else. Got Agent Orange back? Thank you, my friend. Overcoming obstacles, you can make it difficult or you can make it easy. Everything begins right here in your mindset. What you think and believe is what you can achieve. I want to tell you a story. When I got out of the Army, I began selling insurance for the Prudential Insurance Company. Became a member of the $1 Million Round Table. It was very successful. I was making a lot of money back then. I didn't even know it was a lot of money. Okay? I was making over $500 a week in the late 60s. Never realized until one day we have our meetings were on Friday, and there was a guy, his name was Mark, older guy, older than I was. He was married with a family, and we got our checks on Friday. My check was like $560, and I look over at his, it's $250. I said, "Holy shit!" Mine, and he was an agent lot longer than I was. That's for sure. I was a new agent. And I'm making that kind of money back then. And then I started learning about what average incomes were and this and that, and started thinking, how does this guy live with his family, a wife, and kids on $250 a week? Okay, I don't know what that would be now in today's world, all right, but it was a lot of money back then, anyways. But I just hustled. It had it in me. Okay, I got up in the morning. I started knocking on door. Okay, making appointments and doing everything I had to do. And every week I was a leading agent. And one thing I learned was I had ideas how to create an appointment, okay, how to get into people's house to talk to them, to sell them insurance, okay? And I didn't let nobody talk me out of the way I was doing it because what I was doing was working, all right? Uh, Ben would be kind, your father said. That's great, Ben. So, folks, but after I left the Prudential and, I moved to California, I went back, I had to make money to put on the table, put food on the table for my family. It's all in my book, The Accidental Gangster. Okay? And I ran into a guy in a diner who told me about a company called Combined Group of Insurance Companies, who was owned by a gentleman named W. Clement Stone. And for those of you who don't know who he is, you got to Google his name and see who he is. And it was selling an accident policy. Basically, you had to be on 42nd and Fifth Avenue in New York at 12:01 a.m. Okay, and have the accident at that time. All right, and people were selling 50 to 100 policies a day, and you got whatever money you made in commission, you got to keep it right away. Hey, Heather, how are you? Glad you made it, honey. Thank you. Folks, don't forget, subscribe, hit that like button, okay? Uh, but anyways, I took the job and I had to go to school for 2 weeks in Boston. And they gave us books that we had to read while we were going to school, read in the evening. The first book they gave us, okay, was a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, here's my copy. I got a special edition copy, the complete classic text of the book, okay? This was given me by my good friend Greg Reed. All right, that you're going to be hearing more about Greg Reed, and I'll be attending I'll be a speaker, one of his speaking engagements coming up in August, which I'm very excited to do. But when I read the book, what the mind can conceive, believe, and you could believe and achieve, okay, you can do it, and all. I said, holy shit, I've been doing those things, but I wasn't aware that they had names for them. All right. Buster, I got 3 children, I got 6 grandchildren, and I got 1 great grandchild. Okay. Hello, Stacy. Got my girlfriend Stacy there. We're gonna call Stacy my girlfriend. How are you, honey? Uh, but you got to read this book, folks. It's available on Amazon. It costs you like $9, $10. It's not a lot of money, but I guarantee you, all right, if you follow the principles in this book, it will change your attitude, it will change your life trajectory in a positive way. And staying positive is the most important thing that we could do. But I want to talk about overcoming hurdles. There's a lady here that was very blessed to meet. By now, you all know Mandy, okay? Huh? You know Mandy? Mandy is my moderator, and she does an awesome, amazing job, everybody. Give her, clap your hand for Mandy here. But I'm going to tell you something you don't know about Mandy, and I hope she don't mind, okay? Mandy was homeless. She was homeless at one time. And Mandy is not one of those homeless people that was on the streets doing drugs. She's not a druggie. Just went through a bad time. And she wasn't by herself being homeless. She had her 2 children with her, boy and a girl. Okay? That had to be a hell of a thing. But today, I'm happy to say, all right, she's in a home. Her children are doing fine. And I'm going to tell you, it's a tight knit family. All right. Mandy and her children are so close. It's unbelievable. They all went through it together. The fact is, they went through it and they got over that whole hurdle. And somebody right, yeah, but is she in her own home? She rents a home. Okay? What difference does that make? This girl is not on the streets anymore. All right? Why do people come up with these stupid questions and things that they say? Okay? And people, what I look like? I look like an Israel supporter. I'm not talking about Israel here. Okay? Why do you want to talk about that for, huh? All right, D. Porter. Oh boy. Huh? Thank you, Stacy. But folks, I wanted to tell you about that, Stacy. About Mandy. Okay? She's my adopted daughter. I'm her adopted father. And we have built a relation. We never met each other face to face, but we talked plenty of times. And she loves to text. We text a lot. And I talk to her children. Folks, what this girl has done is amazing. And she hasn't quit. She's going to proceed. She's going to write a memoir about her life, the hurdles, how she overcame them. And folks, you got no idea of the brutality that this young girl, my adopted daughter Mandy, had in her life. She's going to talk about it. She's going to write about it in her memoir. Okay. So give her the encouragement. That's going to be a book. All right. Uh, take D. Porter out of there, Mandy. Okay. Mandy, take D. Porter out. We don't need people like that. Okay. Mm. Did you take her? You didn't take her out yet? Mm. I took her out. Okay. People, if you can't come here and be respectful, I don't want you here. Okay? Go break chops with somebody else. All right? Mm. And important. Mm. Thank you, Milan. Appreciate that. All right? We got somebody from Ethiopia, Africa here. Thank you for coming. Okay? Somebody asked who I am. If you don't know enough to go and hit profile to read about me, okay, I'm not going to tell you who I am. Okay, Google my name, find out who I am. Huh? Hmm. So, folks, I wanted to share that about Mandy. All right, so hopefully sometime next year her book will be coming out. You'll all be able to purchase it. So don't think that all homeless people on the streets are druggies. About 80% of them are here in Los Angeles, from what I hear. Okay? Uh, Mandy's up in northern part of our country, and God bless you, Mandy. All right, I'm very fortunate to have you. Oh, folks, I tell you again, Mandy is reading this book, Think and Grow Rich. And as well as she's reading my book, and she'll be finished today. All right, so uh, I wanted to share that with you. But I've been through a lot of things in my life. At 18 years old, I quit high school and I joined the United States Army. I'll never forget the first time that they were bringing us to our barrack and we're standing in formation. And the stockade was a little distance off. And the guys in the stockade are yelling, "You'll be sorry, you'll be sorry." And I go, holy fuck, what did I get myself into? All right? But folks, I gotta tell you, I'm not sorry for one day that I spent in the military. It was an honor to serve my country proudly. So I'm not sorry at all. All right? And I'd do it all over again if I had to. Well, folks, come on, let's hit that like button. Keep hitting that like button. All right? Younger people ask me all the time, what's going on with the younger people? It's very simple, folks. It's not hard to figure out. One word. One word. It's called respect. Audio agenda. Thank you for coming. All right? And who do I blame? I blame their parents. I learned respect from my parents. I'm sure all of you here who are respectful, you learned it from your parents, your grandparents. Okay, that's where it comes from. All right, but parents aren't doing that today. You know why? Parents are too busy. They're too busy. They're too busy to raise their children properly. Can you figure that out, folks? No, well, we live in a world today where these young kids are still living with their parents because they can't go out and get a job because they're too goddamn lazy. And they're living in their parents' basement or attic or someplace. Okay? Can you imagine that? I was out of the house at 18 years old. And when I got out of the Army, my first job was Revere Copper and Bragg. And on my first paycheck, my parents didn't ask me. My parents didn't demand it. All right. I gave them $100 of my money, which was half of what I got. Why? Because I was living in their house. Kids don't do that today. They think it's got to be given to them. All right. Yes, be honest, I'm a parent and grandparent. Yes, I said that earlier. Okay. They don't know what being disciplined is. Oh, are you kidding? My father had a barber strap. We messed up. He pulled it out. Oh my God, you would get scared just looking at my father. My father had arms like you can't believe. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna tell you something. My father was the proudest Italian. All right, that you could believe. All right, ever seen anybody around him ever said guinea or wop? Boom! My father would knock them right out. Okay. Because back in the day, everybody called us names. Okay. Hmm. People still want to know about Diddy. I can give a fuck less about Diddy, to be honest with you. But from there's nothing going on. Bunch of civil lawsuits, of course, that don't look good for him. Going to cost him more money. But there's been nothing about his appeal, and I don't think he'll hear anything on his appeal until he finishes up his time. Are there new charges coming? Will he be indicted again? I can't tell you, folks, because I don't know. But it's been a long time, and there have been no new charges. So I don't think that the federal government is going after him. There's a possibility of some state charges. Okay. We're still waiting for the investigation to that's happening right here in Los Angeles by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department with I forget the gentleman's name. All right, what Diddy did to him. Okay, thank you, Stacy. Stacy said I don't look 81. Stacy, were you on my show earlier? Huh? Jonathan Hay. Yeah, thank you, Heather. Jonathan Hay. Okay. So I don't know. Jonathan Hayes got a civil lawsuit against him, and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is investigating Diddy and Biggie's. I think Biggie's son was involved. Uh, so that could possibly be state charges against Diddy, and if that happens, they'll take him from Fort Dix and put him in L.A. County, which he will not like. Not at all. You're right, Oliver. Yeah, but Trump's going to try to stay in office. Okay? Hmm. Yeah, you got money in prison, you can buy off anything you want. Okay? You're right, Heather. I haven't been following Diddy. Okay? I thought everybody had enough of him, but apparently people still want to talk about him. There's still a couple podcasters trying to come up with stories to talk about him. All right? Hmm. I'm Mr. C-15. That's what everybody thinks. He's going to lose the House and the Senate. But look at he endorsed the guy against in Kentucky against Massey, and he won. And look at he put this guy Paxton in Texas against Senator Corman, who's been in office for 26 years or something like that. All right, and he got demolished. He got demolished. Yeah, the Israeli people put up multi millions of dollars. All right, we should not. That should not be allowed in our country. Okay, it should not be. The way our elections are, and the people who's allowed to put money up, okay, for the different candidates, should not be allowed. Okay, and then they want to do all this redistricting. All right, to stop certain classes of people from voting. That should be wrong. This is the United States of America. We all have the same rights under the Constitution, supposedly. So I'm not going to quote that again. Supposedly we have the same rights, but we don't. Because the people who have the money, the top 1%, they have more rights than we have. Okay? Folks, keep hitting that like button. All right? And subscribe. Come on. We're at 29 likes. Can you get me to 50 over here, folks? Each generation has its own challenge. Yes, that's for sure. Okay? But the challenges in today's world, Mandy, all right, the most destructive thing, all right, stronger than any weapon that they can make, is called social media. Yeah, this social media, all platforms, is destroying not only kids, but our adults. Because some people spend all their time on social media or they're texting. The young kids, this is all they know. All right? This is all they know. Now, it's good if they use it in a way that they could earn money, but they're not. Okay? See, there's something when people are looking at their phone and they're texting and not looking at what's going around them, they feel a certain power. You could tell by looking at them, like they're in control of something. Okay? When in fact they're in control of nothing. The thing that they're holding in their hand is controlling them. Folks, you forget to hit that like button? What's wrong with you? Come on, let's hit that like button. All right? Show me some love, folks. You would think it would remind people to hit that like button, and the people who are here listening, okay? But apparently they're listening, but they're not hearing. Is that correct? Do you think I'm right there, folks? Leave me a comment. Let me know. Huh? So, anyways, folks, that's what I wanted to do was come here today, talk to you about overcoming obstacles. Now, apparently, I'm going to say, there might be some sort of deal memorandum on the table with Iran, supposedly waiting for signatures. Will it happen? The way I'm understanding what it is, all right, it will open the port of Hamas and give 60 days for them to negotiate on the uranium and other things. So, folks, basically all it is another ceasefire. And as you can see, these ceasefires don't mean shit. Okay? And what happened during these ceasefires? Trump is looking for a way to get out of this. He now realizes he got into something that he should not have gotten into. Okay? And it was Bibi Netanyahu who got him in. Oh, yeah, to be just like you did in Venezuela. Okay? But it wasn't. See the difference with Venezuela? That was solely a U.S. decision that Trump and his team created. In, out, and they did it. Our military did an excellent job. And we had somebody inside. Now, here's the difference with Iran. This is not, Trump is not making the decision. Israel is making the decisions. And why are they making decisions? Because they control a lot of money with these billionaires, particularly Sheldon Adelson's wife, who gave Trump $250 million. Okay, she just happens to be the biggest amount. Okay, but other billionaires who give him 100 million, who gave him 50 million. Okay, the numbers are up there, and that's how Trump got reelected again. So every time Trump comes close to a deal, it seems like boom, Israel will bomb Lebanon because Lebanon is supposed to be part of the deal. That's Iran wants. And Israel goes right in and bombs the hell out of them, killing more people. I mean, this killing's got to stop, folks. All right? Now, so far from what I think, we've only lost 13 American soldiers, but losing one is one too many. Why put the rest in harm? Why? Why are we doing that? For a war that we don't belong in. Can anybody answer that? Can you? Come on, folks. 11 more likes I need. Get me to that 50. Okay? Want to talk about Trump? People that Trump pardoned? When I tell you everything's about money, it's about money. All right? John Galanis, who I happen to know, 200 million plus. Joseph Schwartz, 38 million. Lawrence Duran, 205 million. Medicare fraud. Okay? Trump is pardoned this year. All right, Carlos Watson, 60 million. Investor fraud. Trevor Milton, 20 million. Investor losses. Todd Chrisley, 30 million. Bank fraud. Julie Chrisley, 30 million. Bank fraud. The list goes on and on. Trump pardoned all these people, and they don't have to pay their restitution. They don't have to pay their restitution, folks. They all have restitution. They don't have to pay it. So you know that Trump got millions of dollars from all of those people. All right? Or his family, somehow it gets cut. Anytime there's money, there's somebody in the middle taking a little piece here, a little piece there. Okay? Don't think, folks. I know about money. I've been involved in many, many deals. And there's always somebody here getting a little piece here, a little piece there. Keep hitting that like. I need 8 more likes, folks. Okay? Come on. Let's hit that like button. Get me to 50. Okay? And subscribe. Subscribe. Help me out, folks. I'm trying to get to 17,000 subscribers here. I'm short about 150 or something like that there. All right, so let's get me to that 17,000 mark. I appreciate it, all right? And let's get me to 50 on these likes. You notice I don't ask you for money, okay? I don't do that. I used to, I stopped, okay? I'm not going to beg you for money. I know everybody's hurting. No matter who you are, everybody is hurting for money in today's world. All right? And you know who's affecting her? Single guys like me. Because you go, I wanted to buy strawberry. I went to Whole Foods. They wanted me to buy this big freaking thing. It's all they had. Well, hell, more than half of it was spoiled by the time I ate them all. So I didn't buy them. I had to go to another store where I got the smaller box. All right? Look at bread. Okay? I don't eat that much bread, but as a habit, I keep bread around. And eventually it gets moldy and you got to throw it away. Okay? I like it. Once in a while, I'll see they'll have a small loaf of bread, and they're charging more for these smaller loaves of bread than they do for a larger. So, people tell me, hey, buy the whole thing and freeze half of it. I guess I could do that. All right. Do you folks do that there? Come on, folks. 3 more likes and get me to 50 here. Let's do it. You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you. Okay. 2 more. We're at 48 likes. So let's keep hitting that like button, folks. 49. Come on, who's going to be number 50? You know, one thing about social media I learned, folks, you got to be on here for a long time to get a lot of views. Okay? I don't know if these notifications really work. Folks, do you have notifications on for my channel? And if you do, please leave me a comment. I want to know, do you get notified to know that I'm coming on? A lot of people say they never get the notifications. I don't know. I need your help with that there. Okay? So can you let me know? All right? Do you, Stacy wants to vote me in. Stacy, honest to God, and I did a show earlier today because I can relate the different things that Trump has with his, people want to slam him for his health issues. Now, it's the wrong thing to slam somebody about. Okay, just my opinion. Okay, I don't think it's right. I'm 81 years old. Trump's going to be 80 on June 14th. Okay, he's got these marks on his hand. Guess what? I got those marks on my hand too, folks. Okay, they come, they go. All right, see right there. Can you see it? Okay, you know what that's from? I take 81 milligrams of baby aspirin every day. I've been taking it for a long time. Trump is taking the full dose. I think it's like 350 mc's. Okay, he's taking the whole one every day. All right, that thins your blood. You scratch your hand, you're going to get a black mark. Okay, what he's got on his neck, I don't know. I never had that, but his ankles are swollen. I've had swollen ankles. That's from bad circulation, okay, to the heart. So he does have some problems there. But he is 80 years old. He's not 20. And this is why I keep saying we need age limits for not just our presidency, but for our Congress and our Senate. Come on, folks, we keep hitting that like button. Okay, you're doing a good job. You got me over 50 here. Okay. So please do. So, when I think Trump is right, I'm going to stand up for him. Don't think I won't. Okay. And when he's wrong, I'm going to say he's wrong. None of us are perfect in this world. But I can tell you this, my 81 years on this earth, I have never seen it so bad, the economy, all the way around. And prices are not going to go down like they tell you. Oh, and I got to tell you this. You're going to get a kick out of this one. People want to talk to Trump's always going to sleep. Okay, which he is, okay? I mean, he's up all night on his Truth Social posting stuff, okay? But you know what? He's what was the Secretary of the Treasury? I think it's Scott Bessent or Bessent, whatever his name is. Have you listened to him? Boy, I'll tell you, he could put anybody to sleep. Holy shit. All right, they had him on the news earlier. All right, I was sitting in my chair watching, boom, go like that. He'll put you right to sleep. He's the most boring talker I've ever seen. I don't know why Trump uses him to speak. He bores the hell out of people. Oh, yeah, he's always kissing Trump's ass. So maybe that's the reason Trump loves him, all right? Okay, because he kisses Trump's ass. All right? Folks, leave me a message if you're new here and you just subscribed. All right, I'd like to say hello to you. All right, can you do that there, folks? All right. Corporations run this country, says Angel Norton. Yes, they do. All right. And they're not going to, they own the grocery store. They're not going to lower the prices. Okay. Remember COVID? We're still paying the high prices from COVID. And plus, now with the gas, they're going up more. All right. And the tariffs, they went up higher. All right. Who's paying for it? You and I. But our pay don't increase. What I'm afraid is we're going to have a lot more homeless people. Like the two, I mean, in Illinois and Portland. Andy, what is it? Did you write something? Did you, Cindy? I don't understand that question. Mr. C, they're not going to impeach Trump. They're going to try. He's not going to get impeached. Okay? That's a very difficult chore to do. Can you think of any president you know has been impeached? Trump's 47, 47th president we had of this country. Folks, why can't you hit that like button? Why do I got to ask you for it? Okay? Now, you're right, David. I got hydrated. I need a glass of water right now. Okay? But I don't want to leave you. Okay? And I had a glass of water before I came on here. I drink a lot of water. I need to. All right? Oh, Michael Clay. No, Stacy, the war is not going to stop. Okay? War is big money. All right? You're wealthy people. Look at the stock market. Okay? Now, how many of you own stocks? Do you invest in the stock market every day? I don't. I don't invest in it at all. But look at all these people making billions. When Trump says something, the stock market goes up. Okay? Folks, we're at 53 likes. So can you keep hitting that like button, please? All right, just give me the 60 over here. Let's go for 60. There's a number over here that says 500. I don't know what that means. Okay? I got 500 something. It's not $500. Okay. And 500, I don't know what it means. Man, did you know what that means up there? Can you see it? So they got 500 something or what? Hmm. All right, folks. You know, when I stop seeing that like button go up, that's when I feel that I gotta end my show. Okay. All right. Somebody gave me something there. A 720, it says. Okay. Um, I don't know. Does that get redeemed in money or what does that mean? I don't know. Okay. Could somebody tell me what that number was, folks? I told you, I'm an idiot when it comes to technology. Okay. I don't know what the freak technology. We got a thing. We just can't talk to each other. Me and Mr. or Mrs. Technology. All right. All right, everybody. The sun's finally coming out here. We're going to have 40% chance of rain tomorrow. All right. And then Saturday, it's going to be in the 80s. Right now, it's only in the 60s. Weather sure has been crazy. I want to thank you all for coming. And folks, do something for yourself. I want you all to do something for yourself. I want you to be kind to somebody else today. If you haven't tried it out, please do. Okay, now you see me when I do when I go on the street and I talk to you see that I talk to everybody. Okay? You never know what you're gonna learn from somebody or what somebody else is gonna say. All right? But I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is. Hello, how you doing? How's the family? That's enough right there. That's all you have to do. And you can make somebody else's day very happy. All right? And if you do that every day, I guarantee you it's going to come back to you and your life is going to be much happier. So try that out. Be kind to others. All my love and respect to you all. Thank you.